goes. Token Daily got another fucking episode. He's high, spirit is fly. Cut me off a piece of that shish kebab pie. Yeah.
Aloha world, welcome to another episode of Token Daily. Today we're gonna jump right into the news side of the cannabis world. And you know, I could do it out here, it could be possible, but it's a whole lot easier if I just go inside and throw on the headset, and that way I can show you the article so you can read it with your own eyes while we're talking about it, while I'm talking about it. So let's go ahead and do that right now. One more hit though while we're out here.
There we go. Now we're comfortable on a swivel chair. I can probably go ahead and get all this out of the way. Oh, hi, Widowmaker. And we're going to jump into things here. So I did scroll through. I didn't read all of these articles in depth, but I gave a quick glance through them. And I figured, you know what, let's just go ahead and chat about it. I'll kind of maybe try to scroll down as we're doing so you can read it at your own leisure if you want to, or I will also be able to I will be sure to put the links to all of these sites, so you, if you choose to, you can just click on it and read it all at your own pace, and you can watch the videos that they got embedded in it as well. Probably not going to do that here on stream. So, kicking things off, I got home from work today, not too long ago, just a little bit ago. I was like, well, where am I gonna go to get my weed news from? So I just went to the Googles. I typed in cannabis news, and one of the very first articles that popped up was like, Hawaii becomes 26th state to decriminalize marijuana. I was like, oh well, shit, that's kind of appropriate. Let's start out my news segment of the new season of Token Dailies here with some local news, like Hawaii local. I can dig it. With some actual legit big news. Now, decriminalizing is not legalized. Two completely different things. The article does touch on that a little bit. So let's get into things here. With Hawaii, there are now 26 states in the country that have gone through decriminalization measures of whatever sort. So what that means for us is that instead of up to 30 days in jail and a $1,000 fine, now we're done away with that. No jail. 0 jail time for less than 3 ounces. You can still get a $130 fine, but no jail. 130 versus 1,000 and up to 30 days in jail. That's a good step. That's a good step forward towards that overall legalization. We're not there yet, but we're getting close. So, you know, cheers to the governor, David. I've never heard his name pronounced. I'm assuming it is pronounced Ige, David Ige. So Governor Ige did not veto the measure, although it potentially maybe was slated for a veto, but he took no action on vetoing it. Tuesday was the deadline. Today's Thursday, and because he did not veto it, it went through. It is now law. Getting those flashbacks, oh my god, of the Schoolhouse Rock, how a bill becomes a law. Yeah. Is that even a thing anymore? Oh my god, it should be. The Schoolhouse Rock, man, that laid down some knowledge for us kids back in the day. Anyways. So once again, it's a good, solid step forward. Because, you know, the governor's still kind of hesitant. He wants things to be right, I'm assuming. because there are parts even about this bill that he did not like. That's why it was a potential for a veto this session. He went back and forth on the decriminalization, but again, overall, he let it slide. He let it happen. So that's better than saying I don't like it, so I'm going to nix it. One thing that he did not like about it was that it does not include a provision to help young people who want to get into substance abuse programs. That's kind of silly, my opinion. That's a minor, small little thing for you to be like, oh, this I really don't, just be causing a huff and a puff about it. But he's governor. He's king shit in that regard. So he can be as petty as he wants to in some areas. That's the power we voted unto him. We continue to learn from the other states about the problems they see with recreational marijuana. And most of the governors I talk to that have recreational laws have acknowledged significant problems with those measures. That's kind of a bunch of bullshit right there. That's you looking for problems. That's you wanting to find problems. So that is maybe where you ask a question of somebody, and even though they don't come back negatively at all, you're going to maybe cherry pick the words that they say, and you're going to create a problem because you want there to be that problem. So, not brilliant, but 'tis what it is. Because, you know what? There's one thing I want to check here. Let's look up, using Colorado. What the frick am I even trying to type? Colorado. Oh, whoa. Bam, that's exactly what I wanted. The tax revenue for Colorado. Colorado passes $1 billion in state revenue since July 2017. Top $6 billion since adult use began. This was published in February. I mean, so yeah, Colorado's passed $1 billion tax June 12th. So this is a month old, less than a month old, just barely. Since recreational, so, I mean, conflicting numbers. I guess I thought that maybe this number with the 1 billion was just throughout a year, like from June 2018 to June 2019. Maybe they reported a solid billion revenue. I'm not really going to look into it much further. It's obviously a $1 billion industry in Colorado at this point. So yeah, that's a hell of a problem to have, I guess. Now imagine if your state as a whole was one giant tourist thing. Colorado isn't quite like that. Hawaii absolutely is. Hawaii is a worldwide tourism magnet. Imagine the horrors of what might happen if we had recreational legal access. Oh man, it'd be so horrible. Our state would be like overrun with cash revenue. The horrors, man. Come on now. Talks about 11 states, as well as Washington, D.C., have legalized recreational use of marijuana. Illinois being the most recent. Cheers, Illinois. And yeah, I remember reading about that when it happened. It was the first one done in this way, where the state legislature crafted the bill. It went to the governor, and he signed it into law. Boom, schoolhouse motherfucking rock. That's how it works. It's the first time that happened, whereas everywhere else, most definitely, including in Colorado, it was legalized through a ballot initiative that the people voted on, whereas this was all within state legislature. So yeah, once again, cheers to Illinois for that. But boom, let's reload this bowl here. Hawaii can benefit from not being at the head of the table. I could read this with the Hawaiian accent. I'm not going to do that though. We would be smart to engage and recognize what's happening in other states. It's acknowledge the challenges and problems that it has raised and allow. Oh yeah, so those billion-dollar revenue problems, right? So, Ige, you're being kind of a little bit overall here, my dude, but you can't deny that small steps are positive, and that in the end it will hopefully lead to ultimately normalization among society, which just is a shoe-in for that full-on legalization. And just now checking my mic, it was a little further from my mouth than I usually have it, but I think I am talking at a volume that's slightly higher than maybe I normally talk at, so if anybody ever happens to tell you, yeah man, Paul Token, when he shoots his Token Daily videos, he goes above and beyond to check the quality before he even records a single second. Nah, man, I just kind of wing it most of the time. I certainly don't do it every time I cough, but I just did it right there where where you cough, and then you make that audible inhale, like you're. That was kind of an exaggerated version of it there, but that kind of makes me laugh when I do it as I'm coughing, which just kind of makes me cough a little more. And moving on. Here on CNBC, they are reporting that U.S. lawmakers look to legalize pot in a historic marijuana reform hearing, and that's pretty big. That's pretty big. I mean, was it the House Representatives? Yeah, the House had a little shindig, a little get together, talking about reforming pot laws. I again kind of skimmed through this. I maybe should have read this one a little more in depth, but let's go ahead and do that a bit right now. So one thing that's very true, Tom McClintock from California is saying how marijuana goes beyond political boundaries. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican from California, such as he is, or if you're a Democrat from wherever. I mean, society can agree that pot doesn't give a fuck about your politics. So it's good that there is this bipartisan feeling among reforming a bunch of the laws throughout the country right now. Yeah, the laws that they have in place in a lot of places have not accomplished their goals. Demonizing pot throughout the decades has not done any great things for society. So, how about the other end of the spectrum? Right? Let's see how that goes. 11 states have legalized adult recreational use, including, or as well as rather, Washington D.C. We learned that in the previous article. Number of bills on the table that would reform federal laws. House Subcommittee on Crime has sought input on how to reform federal laws in a hearing. Okay, so that's actually pretty big. So the people that are literally trying to write the law are asking for help. Marijuana laws in America, racial justice, and the need for reform. And that's pretty big right there, because the racial divide in how society persecutes cannabis users, it's apparent. Does it give any numbers here? It might talk about specific numbers in how much more likely you are to be fucked with if you're smoking pot, if you are non-white versus if you're just a white guy. It's fucking stupid that it happens, but minorities absolutely are being fucked with more than the white society. Um, as a white guy myself, it's not right. It's not right. It's very obvious. So it's good that the government realizes this, and that the government is wanting to change that. So despite the optimism in hope for a change, nobody knows what the best way to go about that is, and well, duh. But the more we start talking about it, the more that a consensus can be formed, and it's more likely that a rational consensus can be attained, so that everybody, including me and you as the people that it most impacts, that we can be happy with how things turn out. So the States Act is among the most popular of the cannabis bills. It amends the Controlled Substances Act and exempts state-approved marijuana activity from federal enforcement. See, that's good in all. Some people would say it doesn't go far enough. Some people would say, why does marijuana need to be on the Controlled Substances Act? Some people would say it being a Schedule 3 is stupidly obscene, and that shouldn't even happen. But again, it's kind of sometimes a matter of a baby step, a forward progress step being taken to amend the Controlled Substances Act and then exempt state-approved marijuana activity from federal enforcement. You know, that's better than nothing. Proponents say the legislation would eliminate federal concerns in states where marijuana is legal. Yet some say the bill does not go far enough. Because it does not address any racial or social concerns. It's so possible, even if you are a white guy, if you get convicted of a cannabis-related crime, there are plenty of ways where that simple thing can lead to years of your life being completely fucked. So, yeah, the social concerns are real. The racial bias of the social concerns is a very real thing, and it absolutely should be addressed. We need to reinvest in those individuals and those communities that have been disproportionately impacted by marijuana prohibition. Baltimore State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby told the committee the States Act does not do that. That's one of the reasons why I'm opposed to it. See, that's, in my opinion, the stupidity of a lot of aspects of government, of politicking, where this person is saying, this isn't perfect, so nope. It has to be a giant fucking leap. It has to be a long jump of a leap. No baby steps. That's what that person is saying. And, you know, continuing on here, Malik Burnett, the chief operating officer, minorities in other parts of the country are impoverished because of drug policy. True. But that's definitely a reason why we should have a federal policy in place. Whereas right now, with the states doing just whatever they want, yeah, you got people in places like California and Colorado, where it is fully legal, where some people are making a lot of money off of it in fully legal ways. Other people in other parts of the country, sometimes not very far away at all, sometimes just across the state border, they're the ones with their lives getting completely fucked because of the stupidity of everything involved with it. So hopefully that can change soon. Representative Matt Gaetz, Republican from Florida, a co-sponsor of the States Act, urge lawmakers to support the bill, even though it does not go as far as some would like. Alright, well, Matt, he's coming with some logic there, in my opinion. His deep concern is that concerns over how far to go on some of the restorative elements in our policy could divide our movement. True. Justin Streakle, a political director of the marijuana advocacy Normal, we all know Normal, he applauded the subcommittee for holding the hearing. It was a historic day in the fight to end federal marijuana criminalization. Members of both political parties demonstrated a desire to reform our nation's failed policy of prohibition, and the only disagreement was how, not if. Oh, that's good right there. That's good. I like that. And okay, we're just gonna wrap it up right about there for today. So cheers, everybody. Thanks for stopping in, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers. Peace. Goodbye. Aloha.